If your dedicated storages are always empty no matter how often you go farming, these strategies might hurt a little, but not you. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to automate farming the most essential resources so effectively your daddies will be full even if you sleep. Your gachas are hands down the single best creatures to farm huge amounts of cementing paste, and I bet you don't even know why. Gachas are the only creature that can pick up items from the ground. This means that gachas can also pick up paste that is dropped by Achatinas and then store it in the inventory. As long as they're not sad, they will eat everything you put in their inventory and turn it into crystals. However, if you want to farm cementing paste or rather Achatina paste, you don't want your gachas to eat your paste. Therefore, you have to make them sad. Once gachas are sad, they continue to collect items from the ground, but they stop eating them and producing crystals. If you place 2 gachas of the same gender in your base and tame a bunch of Achatinas, you can collect tons of cementing paste from your gachas at the end of the day without even having to go farming stone or chitin once. Tame 2 gachas of the same gender so they stay sad. Build a small stone or metal pen, place both gachas inside and surround them with several Achatinas on wandering so they drop Achatina paste on the floor while producing more in their inventories. Keep a feeding trough stocked with sweet veggie cakes for the Achatinas and low value crafted junk for the gachas. As long as the Achatinas wander around, they will occasionally drop Achatina paste, which the gachas will immediately pick up. Before we continue, let's talk about today's sponsor.
Welcome to Sense's Ark. If you're someone who's sick and tired of the brutal official grind, or puke from immediately spawning in with an entire tech base, then you've come to the right place. You see, here at Sense's Ark, we strive to create the most satisfying quality of life experience through mods, custom caves, longer wipes, and so much more. So if that sounds like something that's put on your heartstrings, then, my friend, click the link in the description below and I'll see you on the inside.
Gacha crystals provide resources, armor, weapons and sometimes even structures. They do not contain saddles, but this is by far the easiest and safest way to get a ton of high quality items in a short time. This means that with a good gacha farm, you can not only farm large amounts of resources, but also obtain important items such as weapons and armor at the same time. Gachas can be found on Extinction in the Underforest, the deepest part of the Crater Forest, and on Astreas, on the island of Lemnokis in the top right corner of the map. Gachas are the only source of gacha crystals, and those crystals can be dropped in 4 different qualities. Basic, which only contains resources, and then higher tiers like Primitive, Ramshackle and Apprentice, which also contain items like weapons. Upon using, a crystal drops at least one of the items in its corresponding pool or a bunch of resources. Each gacha you have will only be able to produce 6 random resources from a large pool of potential resources. Their production is always structured the same. It can produce 3 common, 2 uncommon and 1 rare or very rare resource. The rarest, but also most important resource is element dust. The chance of obtaining a gacha with element dust is quite low, but this also means that they are highly valued. It doesn't matter whether you tame or breed the gachas, the type of resources is always random and cannot be determined by the parents. By cloning a gacha, you can replicate the creature while keeping its production abilities and even its imprinted values. This is especially useful for element gachas, as they are rare and can be expensive to obtain through breeding. Gachas are solitary creatures, except when they have one mate with them. If there is a same gender gacha within 14 or less foundation range, they will become sad and stop dropping crystals. So, how does it work? Place resources within the gacha's inventory and the gacha will slowly consume them to produce gacha crystals on their back. The quality and type of the resource the gacha eats will affect the gacha's crystal's quantity of contained resources and the quality of loot. A very popular feeding method is therefore to feed them plant species wide traps, because this creates very high quality loot and lots of resources, since the game seems to think that plant wide traps are a structure. Gachas have a crafting skill stat that can be improved to increase the quantity of resources and the quality of loot. Level your gachas in crafting skill and weight so that they can hold a lot of items and drop higher quality loot. After 220%, the quality of the items dropped by gacha are capped and won't get better. Depending on the server settings, you can stay lower or have to go higher. After a time, the crystal growing on the gacha's back will fall off and then can be collected. A crystal sound effect can be heard over a fair distance when this happens. Feeding the gacha a snow owl pellet will provide a temporary buff that increases crafting speed, the quality of loot produced, and the quantity of resources inside the gacha crystals. Gachas can also eat the poop of all other creatures to get the same buff, but it is shorter and not as strong. However, in combination with a dung beetle, you can easily collect a large amount of poop from your creatures and feed it to your gachas, giving them a permanent buff. The simplest configuration is to place two gachas close together, each targeting a few snow owls. From time to time, these snow owls drop a snow owl pellet, which one of the gachas will pick up. After that, the gacha has an increased spawn rate for gacha crystals, resulting in more and higher quality loot. However, they also require more structures as food to compensate for the faster production. Gachas are active as long as a player is in a part of the map and they are rendered. You can pick up the crystals dropped by gacha either manually or automatically using a Pegomastax. Simply throw a Pego towards your gachas so that it can easily reach the crystals. To do this, simply level the Pego into weight and activate the gacha crystal pickup in its radial menu. As soon as a crystal falls to the ground, the Pego grabs it and keeps it in its inventory until someone takes it out. Every few hours, grab the crystals from the Pego's inventory and open them all at once to get a lot of resources and items. On a side note, as of I'm editing this, I'm at about 6k subs. If you could sub to help me reaching my goal of 10k subs by the end of the year, I would greatly appreciate it. Grinding down creatures while you sleep not only gives you resources like metal, organic polymer, electronics and element, you can also easily tame a horde of gigas with that additional kibble you get every time one of the babies is put through the grinder. The Bio Grinder is especially effective when it is permanently filled with creatures such as mantis, penguins, Tachypterosaurus or raptors. When baby mantis and penguins are put through the grinder, they not only yield good amounts of organic polymer, but also hide and chitin. On the other hand, tech creatures yield large amounts of metal and small chunks of element and electronics. An effective bio grinder build consists of a grinder in the middle, a bunch of air conditioners around it, and a frame built around the grinder. Place the bio grinder in the middle and build the following frame around it. Now, if you place the males on the platforms in each corner and the females on the ramps, you can position them so that the eggs they lay fall directly into the grinder. When the babies hatch, they're immediately ground down to resources and kibble, and you passively gain a lot of resources with each run. The advantage of this structure is that you can use this template to build a tower and add more and more floors so that creatures can stand on each floor and have their babies ground down to resources and kibble. Not only is the bio grinder extremely large, but the big downside of the bio grinder is that you have to buy the Bob's Tall Tales DLC to be able to craft it. Whether it is farming resources, sorting stuff in your base, or repairing structures, SurvivorMate is a no-brainer when it comes to automation. Unlike you, SurvivorMate does not get radiation damage and does not need oxygen to stay underwater. This means it is the single best option to farm black pearls while you're AFK. Simply go down into the radiation zone on Aberration or the deep sea on Astreas and place the robot close to black pearl clusters. After that, configure it to farm black pearls, and while you're AFK, he will run around and farm all the black pearls around that area. As of now, SurvivorMate won't be attacked by creatures in that areas, which means that you simply fly by from time to time and collect the farmed resources. Usually the red zone is a non-building zone. On unofficial, you can build a base or place a linked storage box, as you can set the red zone to a building area. Farming silica pearls is even easier. If you want to use it in a way you get the best yield, you need vacuum compartments. To be able to place SurvivorMate, you need to place one compartment so you can place the robot underwater. So this is more like a late game strategy. Survivor Mate can run underwater, does not need oxygen and is not attacked by creatures in that area. I don't know whether this is intentional or a bug, but at the moment it works and makes him the best AFK pearl collector. In some other regions with more shallow water, like on Scorched Earth, you don't even need vacuums, but the yield is way worse. I usually do this on Ragnarok, because as of now it has the largest clusters of silica pearls, but you can do this on any other map just as well. The big problem is that it only collects when it is rendered. You should therefore place it in places where there is a lot of activity and it is always in the render range or near the base, so that it collects every time you pass by the base. An automated berry, vegetable and med brew farm is easy to build, easy to expand and will provide you with berries, vegetables and the most important food you need throughout the wipe. The easiest way to achieve this is to place crop plots on a cart, plant seeds in them and set them to fill the feeding troughs. Build an industrial cooking pot, enable automatic crafting and set the med brews as the only item to be crafted. Now set your Survivor Mate to carry berries, narcotics and other resources to your cooking pot in butler mode and bring finished med brews to your fridges. As long as the robot has all the resources and you don't run out of water, it can continuously produce kibble and buff food for you. Simply set it to butler mode and give it access to the most important storage rooms and you will never run out of cooked food in your base again. This works for all foods, kibble and healing items that can be crafted in the cooking pot. I hope you liked this video and I'm thrilled to read if this video has helped you. Hit the like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm and consider subbing to the channel. Alright, Frodo.